Cup 2011.
Naveen, this is Deepak here. I agree to a certain extent with Milind, but what Milind is forgetting is that, Sri Lanka always had a colonial past and there were always the infrastructure available, which was, clubs and other places where cricket was always being played by the Britishers. And so the Sri Lankans they always had a taste of it and they knew how the game was played. I think, unfortunately, the infrastructure is just not there, as Anil also said, in America. So unless and until you have proper, stadiums or proper pitches, you can't expect Tendulkar and Sehwag in order to go and play there and then, get some bodily injuries. So they have to form some kind of a infrastructure which is of reasonably international standard.
Right.
And I think they can take a cue from IPL if they can have, if they want to have a serious competition and all in America. I think the game that can really enthuse an average American is a T20, because that is something akin to that evening baseball game. And that can really fire their imagination. It's short, it is not too time consuming. And they can really take it to like a duck takes to water. So, that way I think they can go about it. But if somebody thinks that, Americans will adapt to a 5-day test match and all, I have my doubts. Those 60s are gone.
That is not possible. I also think, yeah.
Which were, easily laid back, used to very, these games which were, basically for lazy people. I don't think Americans will ever, I can bet my last penny, Americans will never take to test cricket. If even next 20 years they can come into test cricket, I am ready to take my Milind Wagle friend to a 5-star dinner.
Right. So, okay, I'm agree with you, Deepak. So here it's a time for a short break. We will be right back. Stay tuned with Radio DesiBeat. Welcome back. You are listening to Radio DesiBeat, America's first 24/7 Bollywood radio station, and here we are discussing about future of cricket in America. So my next question for Anil. Anil, you are familiar with America and its cricket. So why cricket is not popular in America? Any idea?
No, I don't say it's not popular. I don't believe that at all. I think there is a underground movement. I mean, obviously, it's stemming from the population of the cricket-playing diaspora which exists over there, and more so now that cricket is available on television, there is there's a euphoria of being a part of the game, even as a spectator. In the earlier days, when we first started cricket on television, that was our first challenge, because even diehard cricket fans were fizzling out from watching the game because they didn't have access to it. Now the access is creating the need to want to play more, and armchair cricketers are actually going out there and playing cricket on the field with these new clubs being formed. As Mahmood said, there's so many divisions that's a new phenomenon. That's coming from the fact that a lot more people want to play. And as you get that, the kids of those families who are playing are starting to do it at their early formative years. So there is a system in its own madness, so to speak. But to say that cricket is not popular in America is, well, today I wouldn't say it's full, it's not half truth, it's not half lies either.
Okay.
But again, you have to do something about the infrastructure. I think the cricketers that play in America today make for good 2020 players.
Right.
Only because they are forced, their game, the batsmen are game, they're forced to hit beyond the ground.
Right.
So the ground shots don't go anywhere because the grass is too thick.
Right.
So they've adapted to doing something different. So if we can hone those skills, I think the U.S. can produce a top-quality 2020 team. I don't know about the rest of it, but a 2020 team for sure.
Yes. So my next question to you, Mr. Mahmood, do you think Americans don't like cricket?
I wouldn't say they don't like cricket, because they don't know cricket yet as much as they should be knowing like baseball or anything. So if it is promoted in the right way, like we would... I mean, India is a huge country with a lot of resources as far as cricket is concerned. If they would come out here and promote, as one of the commentators over here suggested, not only morally but financially also, and play and popularize the game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to catch up over here, because as I said, 2020 or maybe even the 50-over matches, I can bet you that much. If there was a game over here dedicated, if any Indian team or any national team was going to come out over here, you book a good stadium over here, I can guarantee you, if you popularize it, if you advertise it, this stadium is going to be packed. People from Northern California, from as far as Colorado and Nevada, will fly out over here just to watch those players playing over here. I can tell you one example. When the Indian hockey team came out here in Moore Park, we have a facility for athletic team to practice field hockey. The Indian team were here about a month before the real Olympic, and they were practicing over here. People were coming out of states just to watch them practice hockey. Now you talk about cricket, which is much higher level, lot more followers.
Right.
So, India need to do something also.
Yes, you are right. How do we know that Americans don't like cricket if 99% of population have no idea what is it?
We play at the fields and sometimes they come and stop and they are amazed and they don't know what the hell is going on.
मिलन जी, मैं आपके पास आऊंगा कि how important is education and awareness for this sports, for any sports, in fact?
Well, I'll tell you something, just going away from your question for about 30 seconds and I'll answer that.
No problem, sir.
Answering to the popularity of cricket in America, I was commentating on the India-Netherlands match 3 days ago in New Delhi, and there was a whole stand with 250 Indians, which also had a mix of Americans out there, who used this time of the year to come on a holiday to India. They had planned this holiday, I believe, about 3 years before. Knew that the World Cup would be organized in the subcontinent. And this morning, on my flight from Mumbai to Nagpur, I blame the Americans because the airfare had shot up to $300 instead of the normal $100 because half the flight was full with the Americans going to Nagpur to watch India play this game. So that's the point I'm trying to make. It is popular, I'm sure. Obviously, 300 people do not make the whole of the United States. But I'm sure, answering your next question, that education is certainly going to be a huge impact. Because yes, adding to what Anil and Mahmood said, needless to say, and what Deepak said, that infrastructure is extremely important. Right. You need good wickets, you need good outfields, you need good surroundings to make sure that the game is popular. But yes, I also mentioned sometime before. You remember India had the Commonwealth Games just a few months back.
Yes.
And I was talking to the star of those meet, Veer Dhawan Khade, who's one of the champion swimmers, the upcoming swimmers, the second Indian to win a medal at the Asian Games after about 54 years. And he was mentioning that when he swims with the best in the world, like he saw the Liesl Jones, he saw the diver Alexander Desplat, the Canadian, it encouraged him. When he swam with Michael Phelps in the Beijing Olympic Games, it inspired him to go to greater heights. And that's the reason why I keep on mentioning that when we all play with the icons, when we mix shoulders or rub shoulders with the icons, I'm sure the game will tend to become that much popular.